do have that, and it's kind of weird leaving SSG out of this, but they have disappointed up to this point. So right now, I think getting into the top 3, the only 2 teams that I can think of right now are Envy and FaZe. So it'll be interesting to see if we can finally get over that hurdle for that.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. I feel like we have an expectation for who's going to make top 3, but to say that we have a big 3 is really tough right now with the competition getting tighter and tighter. Look at the last TSM Invitational 5K tournament. We saw even the likes of Optic get upset by a squad, you know, who isn't even in pool play. So it's actually crazy to see something like that. Anybody can win on any given Friday, Saturday, or maybe even Sunday.
100%. Well, let's talk about our lock, right? Shopify won the last major, looking phenomenal. You're going into online as well with them, and you're seeing kind of a back and forth between Optic and them. You know, it really is kind of testing the waters, especially when you're online heading into a LAN. But it's seemingly that major last time looking really, really good for these guys. I think teamwork is at the core of what these guys are producing, and they do have firepower to match
There we
this.
go.
Do you think they're peaking at the right time, though, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, this shop.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Everybody in my chat, everybody in Eli's chat, what's good?
Every team into one, unit. Shopify
Welcome to the party.
And we saw them
What's going on, everybody?
The first 2 events, they were doing very well. They got reversed by Optic twice, and I think that was just the inexperience showing. And now that they have that individual skill and the experience at these events, we saw them take the last major, and we'll see what happens, because if they win this one, we got 2-2 tie going into champs.
We certainly do indeed. I think Shopify have just really started to elevate gameplay even more so, because they really were there right at the beginning of the season, even in the off season. They were
What's up,
really
everybody? What's up?
People. The competition, it was unmatched. Obviously, coming into things though, Optic Gaming, they bounced back.
All
They
right, let's
fought
get
back.
this
They
in a
were
separate
able to do
window.
things when it came
Get this
to,
cooking.
the biggest stage that we have here in Halo, which is the main one. Tony, looking at Rebellion.
Welcome, everybody.
I mean, they look so good objectively, but that Stronghold's that stat line is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I mean, only dropping
No Eli at the moment, because Eli is at the event in person, but he will certainly make appearances throughout the weekend. But welcome, everybody. We watching Charlotte all weekend. But for those of you that don't know me, I'm Clay. I'm Reclaimer. We doing a little bit of a takeover here on Eli's channel while he in Charlotte for the tournament this weekend. So we're going to be holding it down this weekend. Doing a little bit of a multi-stream.
This man on screen right now, he steps it up in the biggest moments, especially on land.
I mean, Sniper, you're looking here, the damage difference is insane.
Yeah, it's going to be a real fun time, man.
Everything in terms of Halo and HCS.
I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely amazing. The consistency is there. What is a big...
We're going to have us a great weekend.
When you look at a play like Cycle, what does he bring to the table for a team?
I mean, you look at these stats, I mean, he's not only getting the slays, he's also staying alive. I think the biggest thing about him is his ability to kind of fly under the radar on these maps, to do the damage, to stay alive. Kind of like that Pistola gameplay back in the day where he wiggles around, he gets no shields, he is able to maneuver and draw so much attention to himself.
So look at Snipe down on the analyst desk, bruh.
While he's still putting in the damage, the kills, and the assists.
100%. He gets the work done, and the rest of the team...
Oh, are we starting with a Shopify match?
Looking incredibly
in pool play?
Currently coming into Charlotte. Let's talk about Optic, though, because they're not far behind, let's be perfectly honest, and it really does go back and forth. They're winning things online as well, so coming into this, they're feeling really confident.
Yo, what's up, Wang Doodle?
Whether or not they can push this past the line
Big
against
dog.
a team like Shopify, who are incredibly prepared. When you look
What's
across
good,
Optic,
everybody?
I will
Across
say
all
that some of
chats,
their
we are currently
objective
live
work
on
has
my
been
Twitch,
unbelievable,
Eli's
but
Twitch,
you can't
and the
deny that
YouTube.
they are working together
So we are live
very
across
well as a team.
several
And Simon,
inputs
when
at the
you look
moment.
Optic, how are you feeling about actually what they're producing here? You know, a lot of people are kind of relying
Look,
on
I
their
appreciate
slaying
y'all
ability,
tuning in.
but
There's going to
so
be a lot of
much
trial
more.
and error this weekend, and we're going to figure out how to try to run a good show here, but
their teamwork was just above and beyond.
ultimately very, very excited.
Tournament, regardless of how good their individual skill is, that's really what won them the event. And we see that with objective game types, specifically in oddball.
Very,
They
very
don't lose
excited.
that game type, and that is, in my opinion, the most teamwork-oriented game type of them all, setup-oriented. And honestly, when you look at the individual talent on that roster as well to pair with that, it's really hard for that team to lose when they are playing at all cylinders.
Okay, no,
You know,
so they're
Tony,
just
I have
doing
to
like a
ask you
little,
bit about the
they're just
difference
talking about the
between two,
tournament.
'cause I think every time you look at
We'll
either
see
of
who's
these
playing
rosters, there's
first.
always the other in the back of your
I
mind
wonder,
about
have
how they
HCS
can
tweeted
compete
a
against each other.
schedule?
I mean, OG Ballers for a reason, right? And their objective work is right up there with the likes of Shopify, but that stat line, 21-1, I mean, my goodness me, the best oddball team we've seen in not just a long time, but maybe ever in terms of the competition level that we're seeing here.
Yeah, when I think of Optic Gaming, I think of just a very scrappy objective squad, and that's what I think just wins them game. And not even just in series. Think about the way that they won back-to-back tournaments. From lower bracket round number 1, back-to-back miracle runs. I expect to see that in King of the Hill. I expect to see that in Oddball.
Let's get this shit tweeted
A lot
out.
of people thought they were in a weaker Assault team. They were wrong. Maybe Fortress Assault was their, maybe not their best game type in map mode. However, they love them some Aquarius, and that's why you're seeing a big difference in Assault. 11-3, that ain't bad either.
And honestly, Snipedown, while I've got you here as well, I think it's really awesome to get your take on certain situations for players. We have a deep map and mode pool. This is a lot of things for our players to be good at and teams to have to come together and have strengths with. It's very, very difficult. You know, they're scrimming 17 games a night. It is so much. So when you're looking across some of these stats for viewers at home who might be new to this and might be trying to understand at a higher level, how difficult is it to be just making sure that every single aspect of your gameplay, whether it's a map, a mode, what you want to do strategy-wise, to get that perfect, that perfection to be able to take a trophy, how difficult really is that to do?
I think when it comes to a lot of these game types, you have specific ones like Strongholds, for example, where you kind of learn how you want to play in every single one of these maps, modes, whatever, and you kind of get that flow of what you're looking for, whether it's the 2-cap, the 3-cap, the communication all sits there and it's easier. And then you have other modes like Oddball where it's a little more scrappy, the balls get played, the balls get this, and you have to be a lot more organized as a team instead of just holding setups and individually winning these matches. So I think, you know, when it comes to these big modes, I heard a lot of people actually aren't scrimming Slayers as well, which should be interesting coming into that, because as a Game 2 and a Game 5, those are the ones that win you tournaments. And we've seen that, you know, the phase.
But also, that's why people don't scrim them.
Reverse sweeps where it's a game
is because of how important they are. I don't want to give too much away.
It'll be interesting to see what Prep has done.
It's the same thing with S&D and COD.
Since they aren't playing it as much.
100%. And talking about Prep, there's a team that love to do the prep. They love to do the work, and that's FaZe. And again, we talk about this big 3, and rightfully so, consistently in the top 3. They made a massive change there, big swap with SSG, and quite frankly, it's paid off them. Not so much Space Station Gaming, unfortunately, we'll see coming into Charlotte. But FaZe, they have been putting the work in, the time in, trying to perfect their craft. Things went well at SLC. I think considering they came into it very, very quickly. It was a brief kind of togetherness. The fact that they built off that and they seemingly are growing, it's difficult. Against an Optic and Shopify, you're seeing the outliers, the problems occurring when they're playing those teams. They can't quite get the dub across the line. But I gotta say, I'm impressed with the growth. They are inching ever closer online.
And now we've got the shared chat.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think this FaZe team has
every
single piece that they could possibly need. I think this might have been a bit of an adjustment for them coming from the first 2 events, just with a bit of a playstyle difference. You have a lot of unselfish players on that team. You have the Penguin, the Trippy, the Snakebites.
Yep, okay, we should be good, I believe. We should be all set.
I think for them, it just took a little bit of an adjustment of, you know, maybe we need to play not as unselfish and really just focus on all moving as a unit. And then once you get the rolls down, we've seen 1 event, 2 events, they were as close as they could have been at the last event, and this could be the one where you finally see all the work that they put in, because I do agree with you. I think they put in more work than any other team in terms of how they want to play.
Yeah, I love FaZe's mentality when they approach to the game. First one in, last one out, always putting in that work, and you see the professionalism both in game, but also the way they hold themselves. I will say, though, they say in order to be the best, you gotta beat the best. And
they do say that.
I see an 18-2 record against the rest right now. I want to see a huge improvement
against the best.
Optic and Shopify Rebellion. We know that you were good enough to get top 3 every single event going forward. I want to see them break into the grand finals. I can see FaZe even winning a tournament.
For sure. I mean, the building blocks are there. You can see it. But
that FaZe team is good.
Looking at the stats like
they won a bunch of events, fucking.
For everybody else.
Or that core won a bunch of events, like literally last year.
To get that trophy, you have to go through them. They are getting so
well, I say a bunch.
Wins in some of those series. It's almost heartbreaking to watch some of the leads just get completely destroyed by one mistake or one decision that just didn't go their way, not being able to climb back in.
All right.
And that's the growth that they need
We're
to
fucking
start
in there, baby.
And the goods we need to start seeing. So excited to see them at LAN, because I do think we will see maybe, hopefully, a little bit of difference.
Let's go, baby.
Here as well. There's a couple of other teams though that I think are notable in terms of knocking on the door. That is the top 3. I've got to say, Envy, scary team, especially recently. I think filled with incredible talent. Talent has honestly been on the radar for quite some time.
It is breakfast time, baby.
Etc. It was about whether or not they could put together the teamwork, and I think that was what was missing from some of these players. Getting on the right team, being able to fit into a good system that is going to work against the very best. Snipedown, how are you feeling about Envy and their chances here?
Very excited for this Envy squad. I've had a lot of people come to me before this in my chat just trying to say, you know, watch out for them. They're
Bro, this
pumped.
Envy
And I
team
saw
is
a Yag
legit.
on Twitter before this
So
talking
shout out
about
Snipe
Weston
Down,
was
bro.
he's living his dream, and it is one of those times where we're coming down to the end of HCS, and you have certain players that have been trying so hard to get
The end
to
of
this point,
HCS for
and now
Infinite.
they're as close as they've ever been to the success that they've been dreaming of. Living your dream and then coming here, that is just motivation for yourself. Your teammates love to see that, and if there's ever a time for them to put it all together, it's this weekend to break into that top 4 and then really see what they can do in the end.
Eric, while I have you on this point, when you are trying to break in and LAN, it is very different from the comfort of your own home online. When you are starting to see the good, see the product in front of you that you've been working so hard on, and it's starting to pay off. You're competing and pushing the limits of the best that you have in Halo, and maybe players that you've looked up to for so long as well. How do you then convert that on LAN? How do you shake the nerves, the pressure, knowing that you're just as good, you're right there? It is one decision away from actually taking the series. How do you start to calm that if you are a young gun?
I mean, the best case scenario for them is pool play. They have their out of getting a match against a really good team, SSG, who they've had incredible success against, and we're going to get into that. But it is one of those where it's like that is the momentum builder for the weekend. If you come out and you lose to a team...
Yo, I know he's done some analysis or maybe some desk work for Apex, Snipedown has, but he's really good up there.
If they come out and they smoke them, I think that we're in for a treat.
I was gonna say, I haven't seen him really do this for Halo. I think he may have done it once or twice maybe. But I haven't really seen him do it for Halo.
Previously Nemesis here as well. Why not?
But he seemed real natural and real good and real comfortable up there. I mean, obviously it's Snipe Down, but the casting ain't for everybody, bro. Or being on the desk, or just being on the camera at all. Cytonian, thank you for the follow, brother. Welcome. Again, I hope everybody's doing well today. For anybody who is just now checking in, those of you who don't know me, I'm Clay. I'm Reclximer. We're doing a little bit of a takeover on Eli's stream this weekend. He is at the event in person, enjoying the vibes there, on the ground, on the street. So we're going to be holding it down all weekend here on the Twitch, watching the matches, enjoying the vibes. Yo, Whacked, thank you for the follow.
Be a top team in the world, and honestly, Luminon Gaming, I had them top 4 this weekend. I really have some high hopes.
We going crazy this weekend
with
the vibes.
Hey, I will say, once upon a time, I might have said that's a stretch, but I have seen what Europe can actually do, and I think when you come into things looking super, prepared, when I can actually speak properly, it makes a massive difference.
Also, yeah, Lottie was literally just at COD Next, fucking 2 days ago.
This is golden. This is the work you need to
Because I literally saw her interviewing Warzone pros.
Expense to come over here and put that work and dedication in, but it makes all the difference for them because it's a different feeling.
Brother, what's good, Swifty? My fucking dog.
And I think
how we doing? Welcome to the party, brother man.
Be a full circle moment for us on the desk. We're going to be talking about this a lot, especially with Worlds around the corner. I think being able to come into a competition the week before, play the hardest level of scrims, prepares you so well. You know where you're at level-wise. You can learn on the fly. And I think it's going to be really important for Luminon, but especially in pool play, because it's going to be massive that they cause some upsets, I think, heading into this day #1 here in Charlotte. And, of course, just to brush over things with TSM as well, we'll get into that a little bit later on because...
Forgot my earbuds, but I got you pulled up here at the event. Yeah, I forgot, bro. Swifty at the event, too.
Because when the band was back together,
my dog, bro. Good looks.
Quite been converted yet. Eric, just very briefly, how are you feeling about TSM overall?
This roster really kind of confuses me because it feels like, they've had the same team. You would think that would equate to better teamwork in the future, but it feels like this team's play style, personally, just from watching, is not really changed much. It's just been kind of run and gun, fly around the map, and after that, it just, I feel like they need to figure out the teamwork side of it.
I don't know about this.
Individual talent and the way they move is great,
fucking
when
2014 ass music.
They just look like bugs flying around a light.
Or this music, this feel like some shit that would be in the outro of a YouTube video in fucking Black Ops 2.
They are all very good friends. You got easy to root for.
100%. It's very reminiscent of what happens when you play a top team against a team that's just not quite there level-wise, and it's exactly like what you pictured there. That's what happens, and you're able to do that.
Thanks for watching.
Want to see a little bit more structure, a little bit more confidence coming out from the
surprise, motherfucker.
Oh my god. Yo, Remy with the 101 months to Eli, goddamn. Yo, I don't know what Eli says whenever he gets his subs, but shout out Remy for the resub. Much big as always.
plan. We talked about them biting on the heels.
Yo,
of
Remy,
greatness.
what's good, bro?
And they do it. We want a really clean pool C from them. We've got Cloud9 and Luminon Gaming lurking in the wings.
I can partially
waiting for
hear
that
over the
opportunity
broadcaster,
to
so I
catch them
got you.
off guard
Hey, I appreciate you,
pretty
Swifty.
early on. And it's,
Much
I
love,
will
brother
say,
man.
It's not like it can't happen. I mean, why not? Looking back at the Shopify line.
Yo, it's good,
talk
Remy.
about what happened with the reverse sweep with Cole. I mean, FaZe Clan, they can get caught off guard. They can get a little bit flustered. Whether or not that's a different kind of level of.
Hey, I'm glad to hear it. You putting in that work, brother?
You know, talked about things in terms of confidence and bouncing back, but I think FaZe versus Luminon is going to be an interesting.
You putting in that work?
Yeah, I mean, I got the chance to cast that. Very
What time is it for you, Remy?
Complexity then went back to back to back to back.
Because it's 2 a.m. Damn! Yeah, it is 11 a.m. It is just now 11 a.m. here.
Like an SSG, and I told you what Luminon Gaming can do.
So it's 2 a.m. What, did you just get done from, or with the gym, or did you go earlier?
Get in this pool in order to target FaZe. This right here is my pool of death, and it is
I mean,
the most unpredictable pool
this
that
is
we
a.
have here in Charlotte.
I mean, okay, I gotta see the other pools. That is a good pool. However, FaZe should still run the table in that fucking. No, that's the pool of death. What the fuck?
And two, I think players.
That is way better than. This is way more competitive than Pool C.
To kind of fend for themselves in terms of.
Bro, SSG and Envy being in that pool by itself makes it. And Unreal Nightmare is a good team. They have good players.
About knocking on the door of greatness. I mean, this is a really tough situation. How
Built a deck today, did my 10K steps, did a video, Jim, and now here. God damn, you went crazy, Remy. Yo, by the way, I did me a little video today, talk about the blog post, Remy, and or the blog post from, I guess it was about 3 or 4 days ago. But definitely stole a little bit of your flow. I was trying to get up on the vibe a little bit.
It is very poor. Now they always have had a bit of lack of effort online in scrim, so it'll be interesting to see the difference between LAN and online.
He's back.
With the amount of team changes they've
yeah, and I'm I don't know. I want to make like a better effort at like
fills the role that they've been looking for.
Doing
I think that
more consistent Halo stuff, I guess, if that makes sense. And so I want to find different ways to get into that. So I figured I'd try out a few different things, a few different kinds of videos. But I was gonna let you know you're definitely a main inspiration.
But I don't have them as the favorites. If you've been paying attention
as far as
to
the shit we were doing,
rosters, Envy have taken more against SSG,
of course, brother,
and vice versa. Envy are the favorites in that matchup. In my opinion, SSG.
I always love one of the
I agree with both of you.
One of the best things.
Absolutely, completely. I'm excited to see what happens and if
the
the work starts paying off for.
Somebody ever said to me, I think Lalo said this, and also Cole said this.
Folks, you're probably wondering what is coming your way
I love
today
looking at
on
other
the
creators and getting
Charlotte.
inspiration from other
Starting things
places.
off on the main stage, we
And
have
obviously,
Shopify Rebellion
you kind of have to
taking
walk
on
the fine
TSM
line
Optic
between
shortly
like,
after,
are you stealing
heading into
somebody's
things with
flow,
Omid.
or are
Shopify
you
Rebellion will make another appearance versus Cole, and
adding
then
anything
FaZe,
or doing your own
hometown
thing,
heroes
you
versus
know?
Luminon Gaming, a big
But,
one that we want to see here.
But somebody
SSG
said
versus
at one
Envy, the
point,
very
like I
matchup
said,
we were
I think it was
just
Lalo
talking
that said
about,
this to me.
and rounding off your
It was
evening.
like, you
Let's
gotta
go
imitate
versus
before you innovate.
Cloud9. Where can you watch though? Well, we have a couple of different places and on 2 different platforms.
And I always thought,
Twitch and
I always
YouTube.
really
We
liked
have
that quote. I
A
always
stream
thought
and
that
B
was
stream, so
a.
you can make sure you catch all of the action, watch all of your favorite teams.
Because if you think about it, I feel like,
and our side stations to see where they
especially
end
in
up today. What do you
like
get
our
for watching,
scene,
though?
it's
Keep all
not.
tabs open. That is my
It's
one thing
difficult
I
to
will
do
say to you,
something
because you can get your hands
wholly
on
and
these
completely
incredible Twitch
original.
drops. We have all sorts of things, skins. We
And
have
I think you have
charms, we
to
have weapon emblems, everything that you
go
can
off of
possibly
other
imagine.
things
Make sure
and
you're
kind of
watching
mold
all
that
weekend long,
over
tune
time
in to catch all
into
of the action,
its own
and
thing.
you guys
You know what I'm
can get your
saying?
hands on these goodies.
Took me a while to get to know. Yeah, I mean that's exactly my point as
It
well.
is time.
Is that
When
I
we
didn't
set
start
up
out
our
doing the
first
shit that I'm
match
doing
of
either. It took
Charlotte
me a while to
here
kind
at
of
the Halo Championship
evolve
Series
and get to the
of
point
the
where I'm
very
at.
last major of the season.
And even then, I don't feel
And
like
it's
I'm
gonna be
anywhere
Shopify
like.
versus TSM.
I still feel
Shopify
like I have a
are
ton of work
looking
to do
really
and
make their move here
all the
at
growth in the
end of
world
this
and
season. Make a run and
you know what I'm
gun
saying.
for the trophy. And not only the one
Ooh,
here in
we're starting out with
Charlotte, but
Shopify
also the one as
TSM.
well.
That's a
And
banger
let's
match,
look at
actually.
Shopify Rebellion team.
Yeah. Also, whenever we get into the actual tournament, I promise I won't be yapping this much. Don't worry. Yeah, I just wanted to. I mean, gonna sleep. It's late. I'm tired. Good luck. Hey, sounds good, Remy. I appreciate you. Appreciate you stopping by. I know Eli appreciates the resub. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you, and I look up to you and your shit, bro. I mean, that's nothing new. I've probably said that to you before, but
All right, Shopify Rebellion.
I appreciate
what
all the
have you got
homies.
for us on this day number 1? Because often
And I
we
love
see some
Halo,
of
and I
our
love
top
the
teams
community,
have a little
and
bit
that's
of a
all.
lull on a day 1. They're
But
kind
much
of
love,
kicking
brother,
their feet
man.
back, they're relaxing
You have a
little
good
bit,
rest of
just
your
getting
night. You
into
get
the
some rest.
groove, and that is what catches some of our best teams off guard. Do we feel that same sentiment when it comes to Shopify Rebellion? Have they been like that this season, Snipedown, would you say?
No, I think that they have.
And
usually
shout out
come
that
of
brother
tournaments
Remy.
looking like the best team in pool play, and then leading into the bracket stages and everything. I think Shopify is one of those teams that they do not like to let any teams feel any type of confidence against them. So with them going against a TSM team that is, in my opinion, kind of like a little budget version of them.
Ooh, wait.
To see if the firepower is matched in a sense of just like sporadic, but I think overall
This
we're gonna
music
see a
crazy.
pretty dominant series out of them.
I think we certainly will indeed. Tony, it's one hell of a roster, isn't it? This is an incredible team that have everything that you could
This shit goes
possibly
crazy.
want in a team to root for. I mean, they got the Slay power. They are incredibly confident when it comes to all of the maps and modes. There's really not a kind of issue or something that you can capitalize on when it comes to this roster. How are they going to fare against TSM? Do you feel like this is going to be a battle, or are we seeing a one-side situation?
If there's one team that isn't going to slip up in pool play, at least I don't expect them to, it's Shopify Rebellion. They love playing the game. They want to play as much as possible. You can't pull them off of those stations. So when I look at a player like a Psycho, I look at a player like a Last Shot, they're young, they're hungry, they want to grind as much as possible. They ain't slipping up, I promise you that.
Well, I'll tell you what, on the other side of things though, TSM, they're looking for a big bounce back. This is how you do it. I'll tell you something, this is how you make some noise against the very best that we have in Halo, the last major champions. This is how you do it. You take them down in pool play, you make your mark, you show what you've been working on in the wings, and you produce a series dub.
I mean,
here.
this would
TSM,
be
we're watching you, but let's move
prime opportunity for an upset. Okay, there it goes. Also, this is cool. With the Halo 2 music. Again, I love that they have the Pure logo on the back. I think that's so fire, bro. It's kind of fire, bro. Oh damn, Talik couldn't make it to media day.
What can you show us today in day number 1? I think there's so much to say when it comes to this roster.
What's up, Tactus? What's up, Mr. Duffy?
They have been around for
my
such a
chat
long
just took
time.
forever
They
to
have been together in many different
in my pop-out window.
iterations. I mean, we've seen changes.
Is this Worlds? No, this is not Worlds. This is the last major before Worlds.
I mean,
so we have the Charlotte major this weekend. And then in about 2 or 3 weeks, or I guess 3 weeks, we have the World Championship, which is the final HCS event of the year.
I think I'll understand a
and
little
for Halo
bit more when we
Infinite.
see this first matchup. What are you looking for in particular from them, Eric, in terms of gameplay here?
Yeah, it all comes full circle with the roster, and I really think I think Aquarius Capture the Flag is game 1, so I mean that is probably, although it's one of Shopify's very good game types, that is probably one of the better game types for them in terms of their run and gun type of playstyle, and they really just need to focus on you know, linking up, making sure they're watching each other's crosses, their angles at the same time, and then moving up when they need to and being objectively efficient. They don't want to just run out there and just be running around pulling flags and you know, you never know what's going to happen. But with this roster, they need to at least win one of these games against Shopify to carry some momentum forward. If they can win more than that, even better for them. But I think this first series, you know, it's the first match of the tournament.
What's up,
pool play.
Tripticon?
This is just going to set them up for the remainder of the pool and the rest of the week.
No, this is land, Mr. Duffy. This is just there's this land before we get to Worlds.
And my eyes go to Talik here, Tony.
This is the final major of the season.
So well, and I'm so impressed with what he's been
Well,
doing.
it's good, Tripticon.
Can they get it together?
You did
as a
just miss
team, though?
Remy.
That's my big question. It's all well and good being on the KD leaderboard. You want to be on the podium. You want to be on the first place position, holding a trophy. How are you feeling about this guy?
I'm actually so happy that we're showing a light to Talik because it's not just
I appreciate that, brother.
By the way, since year 1, he's been the best player that nobody's talking about. It's 100%. Actually crazy to see what he's been able to consistently do from a slaying standpoint, and nobody's talking about being one of the better shots in the league, one of the best decision makers.
Who am I rooting for? That's a good question.
Please, y'all.
At this
please
point
recognize.
in
It's actually been
competitive
kind
Halo,
of
like, I've
disappointing
been watching for
me
so
just
many
being a
years,
spectator after my first year of seeing him and the potential that he's had not.
and everybody
taking
has
that
like swapped
talent
teams
and
so
possibly
much
seeing
that
where he can go
like
with
I
that.
don't really
I
have
know
like
what
a
the reason is
set
behind that. I have
favorite
no idea
team.
what goes on there, but I feel like
But I have
maybe
players
other
that I
people don't know,
like,
but every time I watch
and
him, I'm incredibly
but
impressed with
ultimately,
really
like, I
their
just want good
success
Halo.
in the
Like,
past, up to now,
I'm
it
just
really
rooting
does
for
come down
good
to him
matches and
carrying,
stuff.
especially in the slays. The rest of the guys all do their part, but
Ultimately, like, whatever team ends up winning, I'll be happy.
Putting show on.
Because
He
like,
certainly is indeed.
I'm
I
obviously a
gotta say,
fan
I
of
hope he,
Optic because
as
like
a
I
sign
like
on
the
his
players
hand
on
in
that
the series,
team.
because I
I'm
wanna see
obviously a
Tonic
fan
pop off.
of
That was
FaZe and
special the last
SSG
time
because
we
I like
saw
the
that.
players on those
Speaking of
teams.
seeing people, though, I want to see two of my absolute
Shopify.
favorites. They're going to be on the mic for this matchup. Our casters are Onset and Bravo. Fellas, first one
Even
is
teams
Charlotte.
like
It's
Envy,
gonna be the
Complexity.
last one of our major of the season. Shopify versus TSM.
Let's go. I think we're getting started.
Great lot, feeling amazing. Great to have Eric and of course Tony on the desk as well. And I've got to be honest, Andy.
Yeah, we're
to
doing a
start
little bit of a
things off today,
takeover.
It really is,
Crypticon.
especially with what you saw. Just
Yeah, since we're about to get started, for those of you just joining us, my name's Clay. If you guys don't know me, I'm also a grassroots partner, Halo guy. We're doing a little bit of a takeover for Eli's stream this weekend. Eli is at the Charlotte event in person, so he's going to be walking around the event and hanging out and doing stuff there. So we're doing a little bit of a takeover of his stream while he's gone this weekend. We're going to be holding it down and watching the matches and stuff this weekend.
We have an offline event as well, so every single team that is here is ready to go. And I think TSM and Shopify both got different stories coming into this, but Shopify, of course, are defending champions.
You have reached Eli's live mono decoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leave a
They want to
message.
make this year theirs. We're going to start things off on CTF Aquarius, and an interesting series layout
Security
there after
breach.
Slayer Recharge. Most notably, the two games that TSM took off of Shopify at the second.
My favorite
TSM
line
Pro-Am
in that
by Jersey
scene
Mike's was recharge, so
is
they're going to have their recharge
the,
game ready. Then things are going to get
consulting
interesting
hours
in
are
game number
between
three.
8 and 5 every other Thursday.
New map that's been thrown into the rotation. We have 3 different game types.
My
on it
favorite
as
part of
well,
that whole
so a
scene,
lot
bro.
To be understood, worked at, practiced, and of course talked about after this event, because we feel that's going to be a real game-changing, not just map and mode, but
Security breach.
certainly decider potentially in some of these series.
I also have to say, the two game types that TSM did win against Shopify just about 1 week ago were King of the Hill and Strongholds. These are position-based game types, so I'm
Yo,
looking
what's
for
goody
TSM
true?
to put up a fight in that game number 3
Hashtag at work lurk. Well, hey, I appreciate you lurking, and I know Eli does too.
And we will be seeing a lot of Game 5s, we feel, this weekend, because that's been the pattern of Halo Infinite. We will go to Streets at Slayer for that Game 5 if required. But it gives us a little bit of time here before the game gets underway, just to kind of highlight the stories that we have behind these two teams. We mentioned Shopify Rebellion, defending champions, and one thing that always is a question when you win an event is, do you have the gas, the drive to go on to win the next event and really close out this season strong?
Yeah, I think one thing that's going to be in their favor is, as you mentioned, just the amount of activity in between lands, right? When we're in the home stretch of Halo Infinite,
Much
this
love,
is the
true.
most activity we've seen on both on land
Much
and
love,
online
baby.
in between a LAN event in quite some time. So I think Shopify is going to maybe be grateful that they had the LVT land to maybe just shake a bit of the concern there, right? They're back on LAN only weeks later, and they win that one as well. So you have to think maybe Shopify coming in with even a bit of an extra edge, right? And they also just saw what happened to Optic in the second TSM Pro-Am. So I think Shopify, momentum-wise, should be feeling good, but should also just mention just how strong they looked overall.
Are we
Just
getting
coming
started?
into SLC, amazing results.
Oh my god.
Many more to talk
Yo,
about here this week.
lock in, everybody.
Game number 1, as we said, going to be
Game
CTF
number 1,
Yes,
map
indeed.
number
And for
1
the other side
of
of
the
the stage,
weekend.
TSM, it's all about just
Kicking
kind
it
of
off with a little
regaining that
Shopify
fear
versus
factor. Recent
TSM
events, they've been a
in
little bit
pool
of
play.
stepping stone for the teams making it through
And
to
we've got an Aqua
Championship
Flag game
Sunday,
1.
and not the team that we've been talking about as the ones who have
I'm
upset
fucking lit,
someone
man.
in that bracket
This
run.
music
So
seemed too
TSM
chill,
looking
though.
to restore a little bit of that fear factor. Shopify looking to go back to back. It's a wonderful way to start off the major.
Yeah, TSM, very, very good performance last weekend in that second Pro-Am in their own tournament. And a lot of momentum undoubtedly comting from that. We'll go through those results as the series goes, but let's not forget a disappointing SLC
Yeah,
for them, right? So
TSM
they had a lot
just
to learn
recently
there, and I
in the
think
Pro-Am,
from that,
what,
they've
this
taken
past
the learnings,
week,
they've showed up online in big
upset-
ways, and they're going to try to bring that into this series. I think.
What, did they beat
if you're
Optic
writing
and
off
SSG?
TSM completely out of the series, I think you're making a mistake. They're going to come here with a fight.
Yeah, of course we've seen TSM upsetting the likes of Optic in pool play as well. So this is the first game
what I
of
was
the
just
major.
saying.
Welcome along wherever you
Ugh.
are watching across the globe, or of course here in Charlotte, as one of the lucky people who's going to be experiencing
Yeah.
the major. We're starting off.
Yeah, where's
with
everybody
POV
watching
Frosty.
from,
We've
man?
not gone on for too long because he's already found himself in the death screen.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
locking
pretty
in
good
from
both sides.
Houston,
Pretty
Texas
even
this
start, and it will
weekend.
actually be Last Shot who's able to get that
Where
off
everybody
of
else
the
chilling
1v1
from, man.
momentarily to grab that first camo of the game.
I am a
We'll
little
see what
sad
kind
to
of
not be
momentum
there
they
in
can build.
person
When you talk
at the
about
Charlotte
these two
event
teams,
this
Mark,
time around.
it's a really,
It's an event that
of
I've been
course,
to a couple
different
times.
story,
I'm actually wearing the
right?
jersey
Shopify
from the
wants to
one
make a statement. They want to start this tournament off on the right foot
a couple years
as
ago.
They start to build another championship run.
I'm rocking
TSM,
our
though, it's about
Charlotte
finding
jersey
their
from,
previous form.
I believe, 2023. 3,
Great game
which is
from
actually
start
the
of
same
major
event
as well,
that
where it's
Eli
Captain
and I
Flag.
played on the main stage
Been in it
together
since
for the
day
first
one,
time.
Of course, some little changes and adjustments to some of the settings of code, but
Whoa!
the most practiced, I would argue, out
From
of
Canada
all
near
suites we do
stress,
have
I'll
in
bet.
Halo Infinite,
My
one that
house.
certainly does separate the skill level of
Yo,
our teams.
and
2
Wayne
dead at
Doodle with the
moment
Prime,
on the side of
56 months.
TSM.
Welcome back. Much
And with
back.
Lashot
As
still with
always.
the camo in his hand, struck his last alive, and that flag is
That's
already
3 dead
halfway
and a
gone.
flag run. That's going to be a cap. They're also blocking spawns. That's the most room service cap of all
The
time.
entire camo and the full duration of that new camo duration too. Still
Maryland?
that
Hell
flag
yeah.
should go. Shopify Rebellion scores in just 1 minute 20.
Yeah.
Perfect execution from
Shopify
Rebellion
immediately
on the
coming out
first
the
flag
gates.
run. Interesting to take it back just a few steps though, because off the break, Lashot was last alive initially when he got that camo, and that shows how well he played his
There's
life
our
to
alert. Oh,
be
you talking
such
about my
an
alert?
impactful player in that
Yeah.
cap.
Absolutely love the way he just sat front base and made sure to just pop.
Yeah,
shot,
actually,
right? Comes
that-
back, lets the camo return. They
That
have no
animation,
idea
that
where he is. They
alert
can't
is
track him.
from
Gets
that
the flag
Charlotte
off the
event
stand,
because
kind of
our team that
an
played on
old
main
school
stage
midi-esque
was
initial pull to just get the
myself,
flag out,
RLS,
and now 4
Eli,
dead again for
and
TSM.
Jen.
2 alive for Shopify Rebellion. Cycle moving forward immediately. Does have the threat sensor as well, which you can use to get an indication of where those spawns and TSM players are re-entering the
Oh,
arena.
yeah.
It's just going to be a
Goated
trade,
as
though,
team.
as TSM do a good job of just stabilizing inside of their base here.
See what Druck can do. Try to fly out. Saw him in the gym this morning. Man was looking very strong. Kills being exchanged, though. He's a very important role here. He's maybe, very important
Nice
shots
shots.
against Royal 2 with the thrust to keep his team in it. That will buy them just a bit of an extra second.
Another trade coming in, but all these trades are far up the map here for Shopify Rebellion, which is forcing TSM to spawn in and around the fridge.
Damn,
in
what
and
a
around
nade.
their objective, and essentially still being on the back foot here. They're struggling to get out at the moment. The pressure from Shopify is really stifling them here.
Really good. You and I were talking about him a lot before this event. He's my player to watch this event. Last shot is already 7-4 in this game, but as quickly as I say that, Frosty last player alive with camo, it's 3 dead for Shopify.
Camo lasts for like
Of course,
10
this major
years.
As well. We had some adjustments to the
nowadays.
camo that's going to last a little bit longer than previously, which is a big, impactful
My
thing
team
that
was
you're gonna
stacked,
see
bro.
take over some of these games, and 2 in a row now. You can see Frosty
Rightfully
still
so,
with the camo,
bro.
still moving forward, and with TSM
I should have all the
dead,
best
now
players.
he turns his attention to this flag.
Hits nice drop slides straight to Shroom Stairs. And gonna find some spawners there. That's gonna
Best
be tough
players
for
should wanna
Frosty.
play for the
Early
best
damage
team.
coming in for Frosty, and he's gonna try to get some more
Oh
on the
my
chip.
god.
2 shields broken, 3 shields broken.
That's
and
so
the
much
trade.
damage, though.
So great damage output coming from Frosty. The flag does start
And that's
moving,
probably a
but 3 dead
cap.
here for
Last guy is
TSM.
pushed up in their
Last player
base
alive
and just
been
got
taken
5'd.
down by Cycle with a perfect.
And that's a
for
cap.
TSM all on the respawn. Flag is already on its way home.
Great discipline from, look at that discipline from Lashot.
And alright, we're getting absolutely shit
Beautifully
on.
done there, and that flag will be returned momentarily. Royal 2 will walk home what will be the second flag.
I
and
mean,
yet
damn,
still
bro.
3 dead for TSM. Last shot, the first player to hit 10
This
kills, and
Shopify team is
Rebellion
unbelievable.
Looking like they're picking up where they left off in Salt Lake City.
TSM got to be careful here not to get double capped. Druck is
They're
already
not-
down
nah,
to
they're
those
good.
shields inside of the fridge, and Royal 2 is hunting. Fantastic
I don't think they can
stats
relay
actually
this.
picked up. We talked about this a little bit before the event.
This
Royal
team
2
also
has
stacked,
never
bro.
gone negative in Halo Infinite. We took a second, we were like, what?
Don't even know how to process that.
And then we were like, oh, it's actually true. That's just an insane statistic.
They say Royal
for one
2's
of the
never
best Halo
gone
players of all
negative?
time. Oi!
Beautiful shots there in the end. He will get the finish, and I couldn't agree with you
Hey,
more. It's
yo!
a lucid dream of
What the hell?
It's not just you. Just don't worry too much.
But couldn't agree more. When I heard that stat, I think I'm still
What the
mentally
fuck?
processing the idea
Yo,
that
what kind of
players
RCS
not running
filmmaking
a
bullshit was
single
that?
Tournament. Talk about the consistency out of him.
Yeah.
Well, consistency for KD is not just him at the moment in this game. Every single player on the side of Shopify Rebellion is
Damn.
positive.
The brothers
TSM
running the
struggling to get
broadcast
the
definitely
ball
went
at
to
the
film
moment.
school, bro.
Soul Snipe 5 and 13. Torlik, the player who was described as the X Factor, understandably for this team as well.
Damn, he letting it
Kills.
sing,
He's
too.
4 and 10 as well. TSM are just being bullied at the moment.
Yeah, like it's a great point. You
Oh,
bring
show
up,
me
but I
something,
do wanna
Manny.
mention It's pretty remarkable.
Show me some!
And he finally wins that one. It's 3 dead. He's going to try to stay alive off the triple.
Off the
And is able to do so
triple.
in the fridge for a moment. They're forcing the spawns, and they get the 5th kill as well. Here they come.
Camo coming up as well, so these kills being timed well enough for TSM to at least contest.
Oh, no!
Hey, yo!
But you have to.
Wait.
To cross the road, you have to look both ways.
How early did he spawn there? Wow.
We not
He
learned
had to
from
have been
Jordan?
ratting, right? There's no way he spawned
It was
there.
neither a check of one way nor the other way, and he does get back whacked in the end. What looked like it was going to be maybe a momentary TSM pull and advantage turns instead to a 3rd camo for Shopify Rebellion.
Pick up that Heatwave, bro.
Pulled.
Break GAs.
Frosty's on the flank there. You can see through the gen, but he's going to be taken down. So Royal 2 now turns his attention just to staying alive and making the most of this camo. And like we mentioned previously, the up in time that you can now use this camo that's active once you pick it up.
Check your
An
corners.
extra second.
Check those corners!
Look for a trade. you can just milk your life.
Your fruit knife
Output
skills are
down is what
remarkable.
Royal2 is doing a great example of now.
I mean, you can really tell it's even changing the way we're already seeing it here in game number 1.
I like the way Talik took that chow.
Tournaments the past few weeks as well. It's changed the way
He jumped up real high. He like, you're not finna hide behind that little box.
The flag out and kind of pick players off because you have that extra time. It buys you to be even more annoying. 3 dead for TSM yet again.
3 dead. Last
Yeah,
player
they
alive
can't
is
do
on the
anything,
car
bro.
side. Excuse me. Last player alive is Druk inside of the base. Players now flooding to the
Druk's
car side,
OE'd.
having spawned on
Brother
the
gotta
fridge for
fight an
TSM, so
army
they've got
off.
a bit of a 50-50 split on the map, but it's not a
Gotta
traditional
toss
one.
it out
And Druk now
or
has to
kill
turn
the
his
flag
attention
guy.
towards that flag runner. One
Hang
could
on
really
now.
get picked up here by Torlik, taking down Frosty, and now the
Oh,
supporters
he
arrive.
nuked his teammate.
Pulled. TSM might be able to look for a return here, but Druk has to get this kill, and there's another waiting for him below.
Nice job,
Oh yeah, stay on that
bro.
shit.
Look at the patience
You
and
can
the
run
teamwork
that.
there from Druk and all
Oh,
of
they
TSM.
can't run that.
As 3 will fall, they'll make sure that that flag does go back home. And
Beautiful nade.
Druk staying alive in the back of the base, and he's not done yet.
He's going to get this kill on Frosty, though. Frosty just being an absolute nuisance.
That was, yeah, that just tells you how difficult of a kill Frosty is and always will be. Looks like Druk should have had that one easily. 4 dead yet again. By the way, I want to mention it was not that long ago where we said Last Shot was the first one on 10 kills. In that time, Royal2 is now 17 and 10. Yeah.
Not bad from the man on your screen right now. Looking at the
17 and
18s as
10
well.
for
The dual
Royal2,
piece
15 and 8 per
Soul
cycle.
Snipe. He's not going to repeat that
Manny kind of the only one really
He knows the
shooting
kills
back
will
for
come to him.
TSM
It's
at the
2 dead
moment.
for TSM. And more importantly, the
That's
flag
gonna be
is back
3-0.
in the base. Last Shot does the heavy lifting this time around, and Shopify Rebellion are up by 3.
Beautifully done once again. Look at the efficiency. It's not just a flag cap.
Overkill for Frosty, by the way.
Hey, yo!
Casually in the background while this flag was moving.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's not the first time. Look at the efficiency.
17 and 11 for Frosty now.
Flag, there's 4 dead
Holy
at the time
shit.
Of the cap. Fantastic stuff from Shopify.
Camo is still up
We
this
didn't
whole
get to see
time?
it. But Frosty with the first overkill of the tournament in the first game of the tournament.
They'll get that shit on
Nice.
replay for
Waste
sure
of
though,
time.
right?
He's like, why would I wait until any game later than game number 1 to get the first over? And with 4 minutes left,
Also, I like
on
that
the clock,
DMR.
wonder
I've
if
never
we're
used that
going to
DMR
be
model,
them
but
with the way
I like the way it looks.
Shopify is playing this game number 1. Killing spree for Frosty now.
Overkill.
Brother's not losing
Killing
ones.
spree. This man is just collecting medals at the moment.
And
Collecting kills and looking to close this game out as well. Just under 4 minutes left in this game. TSM really not had any opportunity to get a flag going.
And he gets
themselves
a trade.
again for
Wow.
TSM. People with Torlik starting to overextend it.
man, crispy.
Sprint straight coming in from Last Shot is good enough for him to win it. 4 dead again for TSM.
Man,
Beautifully done there. Once
Crispy.
again from Last Shot. You ever wonder how frosty it is? It's just so frosty right now. He's 20 and 20
Ha, 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 ha.
on the brick.
Let's try and overextend here. TSM have 2 alive on the car side. Druk jumps from base. We'll get the kill, but is
It's
he going to
just
be able to
so
get in position to
frosty,
stop this
bruh.
flag? Frosty knows the pressure is coming. Does he have the timing
Little bait.
to try and get this flag in?
He did. Let's
Is
see
he
if
going
he
to have
still
the angle
goes.
for the slide? He's going to get it. And that's 4.
He had so much time. I think he was. I think he was so surprised at how much time he had.
Yeah, too much time.
Exactly. He's kind of setting up perfect drop size and waiting,
okay.
on the shroom stairs as well as the gen, and then he realized I could just walk
Show me
this thing
something,
in. He
TSM.
does. It was 3 dead. Can TSM get something?
Fight
on the
back,
board?
bro.
Torlik needs to pick up some kills here. As Frosty's already found 1 for Shopify Rebellion off of the respawn. Torlik will find the cleanup onto Frosty. You can just see the pressure that Torlik's under. You're so kind of guilty of
Nice shots.
over-peaking against these Shopify players. They make you pay. They will hit the 5 every time.
And he
but
gets a
Torlik
touch.
playing his life well enough
Okay.
to have those numbers on his side. Royal2's going to take some damage, but Royal2 wins the fight. Druk there for the trade, but this is an uncomfortable and scrappy-looking run here for TSM. Druk now last alive.
That's the type of things the world.
What the?
Actively have their opportunity to find a little bit of momentum in a series. But with Shopify's Slayer record, especially very recently in finals, it's tough to look past this as anything but a Shopify win.
Yeah, absolutely. And also just looking at kind of the stats that we saw earlier in terms of the way that Shopify plays Slayers, it's also a treat, man. You and I talked about it before the event. in a little bit of our pre-event coverage. But I tell you what, when you watch Shopify Slayer gameplay, you can kind of pinpoint when they find, especially if you have comps, you can pinpoint the exact moment where they find a break point where they can just break a setup wide open and they never look back. I would say Shopify is the hardest team to steal a lead back from in the league in Slayers right now. We saw them do it against Optic. If you watched it at the LVT LAN, just their ability to, at a tie game, get 3 dead followed by a 4 dead, and you are never getting that game back if Shopify's playing their game.
I think another thing that is very interesting point to talk about here as well is we always, when you talk about teams, you're always looking at the kills number, right? 2 of the teams, as we look at some of the Recharge Slayer stats between these 2 teams, and heavily in the favor of Shopify. To do so with the record and how they've played very recently against Shopify.